What's up, Titan fans? How we doing? Welcome to another episode from the What's Up Titans Fans pod, where we bring videos to you all throughout the week. And look, this is going to be a game preview slash game picks video for all the games that are remaining left in the week. And we're going to go ahead and go through our upset of the week. But as we're waiting for people to go ahead and join the channel, let me go ahead and insert the plug. If you're not following me on YouTube, TikTok, and X, make sure to follow me on all three platforms. The handle's the same no matter where you go. It's the What's Up Titans Fans pod, where I put out videos all throughout the week. I'm talking Monday through Friday. We do pre-game videos, post-game videos. We do the ESPN power ranking ones. Videos all throughout the week, all coming at you in different formats. We're talking the live format and the short 60 seconds or less to get it to you quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, as people starting to gather in, let's go ahead and dive into things. Let me go ahead, pull up ESPN. We're going to go down, review all the games, and especially the Tennessee Titans game, and do our picks. Now, some games already happened, right? We had the Thursday games. We got to see the showdown between the Lions and the Bears, and whoa, what a close game. The Bears almost came back and won that game. I mean, it was a failure of the last drive of the game, right? They had a timeout. They didn't call the timeout. They didn't spike it. They just ran the clock out, and then what happened? The Lions ended up getting the dub because they couldn't convert. They tried throwing it deep, and they just ran out of time. What a waste. They could have and should have won the game. They had the other game with the Giants and the Cowboys, right? That was a Dookie Bowl, right? That's basically what it was. It was two trash teams fighting it out. The Cowboys got the dub in the end. Drew Lock, he did show more potential than we saw from Tommy DeVito and from Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, right? And then we also got the Dolphins-Packers game. That's the one I didn't watch. I did watch these two games. I didn't watch the Dolphins-Packers game, but the Dolphins did come out 30-17. And then today, we got to see the Chiefs and the Raiders go off. The Chiefs got the win. They haven't been blowing teams out the water this year, but they still got the dub, 19-17. Raiders ended up at the end of the game. It looked like they had a chance to come back. All right, they missed the field goal at the end, and then they ended up getting another opportunity. And what happened? It was a bad read at the line with the snap in the center, right? They tried doing some stuff. He tried doing some clapping, try to get people to hurry up. Center thought he was trying to get him to hike the ball. He hiked it, hit the guy in the chest, O'Connell. And what happened? Chiefs recovered the fumble. So Chiefs got the dub. Not the prettiest win, but it's still a win for them Kansas City Chiefs. Now sitting at 11-1 on the season. That's wild. Now we got the Chargers and the Falcons coming up this upcoming Sunday. The Falcons, right? We thought they were going to be hot coming in. They started off pretty good. We thought they were going to lead the NFC South. Then the Chargers, they're 7-4. But the Chargers, they're probably going to get the dub this week. We'll see what ESPN says about it. But they're 7-4. Falcons, they've been on a downfall as of late. I know Kirk Cousins came out hot. He's got the 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the year. Right here, ESPN is given the slight advantage to the Chargers at 51.2%. And if we look real quick, let's see. Yeah, Herbert right here. This is crazy. 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm not asking Herbert to do a lot this year. He's not throwing the ball a ton, but he's being very, very consistent with it. I mean, that's amazing. That's crazy. 13 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. Then after that, we have the Steel Boys versus the Bengals. We know the Steel Boys probably going to get this dub. The Bengals ain't got no defense. Joe Burrow's playing his heart out, right? Look at this. 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but they only got 4 wins on the season. What is going on with the Bengals? And look, ESPN gives the Bengals the slight advantage at 50.1, but I think them Steel Boys going to come out on top. You know, I know they got Russell Wilson, right? They also have Fields as a backup. Russell Wilson, he's been okay coming in. He hasn't been that bad. 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I know he's not the guy who's got the whole game on his shoulders, over there in Steel Boy country, but he's doing fine. Joe Burrow, though, that's insane, those numbers. Over 3,000 yards. He said, hey, we got Shadow Knight. He says, is there actually nobody in chat? I don't know if there's anybody in the chat, but if you are, go ahead, leave some comments about your team. And if you are a Titans fan, go ahead and put Titan up in the chat. Let's hear it, baby. Oh, I'll go ahead and smash that like button. Do that. It helps the channel out. I'm telling you. All right, let's go ahead and keep it going, keep it moving. We got them Cardinals and Vikings. Now, this is going to be a tough game because the Cardinals really aren't that bad. Yeah, they only got 6 wins. And the Vikings, right, people don't believe in them because of Sam Darnold, but they still got 9 wins. That defense is looking good. But, hey, you got to give the edge to the Vikings. I mean, they're 9-2. You can't really pick against them, even though I think the Cardinals are a good team. They're just not good enough. And right here, though, ESPN, they're giving it to the Vikings. They give them a 58.2%. And if you take a quick peek at the QB play, we got Kyler Murray. He got 12 tutties, 4 interceptions. Sam Darnold, 21-10. But, yeah, I thought that would be more so, you know, a little bit more in the Vikings' favor there. But then we got the Colts, right? We don't like the Colts on this channel. And they're going against the Patriots. This is going to be another crap bowl. I mean, it's probably going to be the Colts, but I don't know because Anthony Richardson is straight trash at QB. They don't have QB play at all. You know, if it was Joe Flacco playing, you might want to give it definitely to them, but I'd say the Colts. I think ESPN, you know, they also got the Colts going here with it. They give them a 61.4% over the 36. Look at Anthony Richardson, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I think he's at 48% completion percentage on the year. Not very good, chat. Shadow Knight, once again, he said, I'm not really in the football because I'm in my university's marching band and was forcibly removed from the roster because I can't march anymore during my recovery from surgery. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. I mean, it's weird they don't put you on any type of suspension or something, you know, a temporary thing until you recover, and then they let you just go back, not forcibly remove you. That's odd out there, right? But Drake made 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So he's obviously doing better, and he's a rookie. Richardson, he has that year under his belt. But last year, he played in like 3 games or something, and then he got injured. Like, he didn't really play at all last year. Then he had all that hype coming into this year, but Anthony Richardson's overrated, overblown. He did well at the combine. This dude can run fast and jump high. They thought it would translate to being a QB. It has not. Then we got the Jets and the Seahawks out here. Oh, man, with this one, you know, I think I'd pick the Jets in this one just because, I mean, they have a good roster. It just hasn't been coming together, right? You got Devontae Adams. You got Wilson. You got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you got Bryce Hall. You got all these people for the Jets that you would think they would be able to do well. And they have had some close games. It's weird they are 3-8, Chad. It is weird. You figured they would be better, but they're not. But, you know, I don't believe in the Seahawks. I don't believe in Geno Smith. He's got his 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions on the year. Let's see what ESPN says. Oh, look, ESPN, they're going with the Jets as well, giving them a 55% over the Seahawks at 44. And, yeah, where we see Aaron Rodgers, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the year. Some big injuries. I mean, I guess they got C.J. Mosley. He's injured for the Jets. Oh, Breece Hall is injured. He's questionable, but we'll see if he's playing. It says estimated return is the 1st, so that would be this Sunday. Oh, you said I'm feeling the Commanders. Don't tell me that, brother. That's what Shadow Knight just said. Oh, no. Hey, look, we'll get to it. We're the next. We'll go ahead and do this one real quick. Titans, Commanders, right? The Titans are coming off of a win, right? We got a win. We just beat the Texans, who are now 7-5. We beat the Texans in Houston. Will Levis has had back-to-back good weeks, brother. That's what we're talking about. And look, in the 3 weeks he's played, he's only thrown 2 interceptions, what is outstanding for Will Levis. Then we just got the dub. He's looking good out there playing. Meanwhile, the Commanders are on a 3-game losing streak. They started out hot. They were 7-2. Now they're 7-5. They're looking a little rattled. Teams are starting to figure them out. I think if there was one we could win this one. We could beat the Commanders. They're in a rough patch right now, right? And we are constantly looking better and better. Will Levis, since he's come back from the injury, he's progressed each and every week. So this week, I think the Titans can get this dub and get our first back-to-back victories in over 2 years. That's right, chat. It's been over 2 years since the Tennessee Titans have had back-to-back victory weeks. We haven't done a victory Monday back-to-back in 2 years, chat. Let's see. Shadow Knight said, I prefer Titans because they are closer to my hometown, but they have not been doing good. Hey, he's a good point. Look, I'm trying to bring the good points, brother. I'm trying to bring it. But let's see what ESPN says about it, though, with those Tennessee Titans and who they pick to win the game. Ooh, that's tough, Chad. That is tough. They pick the Washington Commanders. They have a 64%, almost 65% chance of beating the Tennessee Titans. And look, if you look at the difference, Jaden Daniels, obviously at QB, he's having an outstanding Rookie of the Year performance. He has 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. It's been a little down the last few weeks, but man, he's still doing well. Meanwhile, Will Levis, he's in his sophomore season. He has 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but this man is finally positive. He has more touchdowns than interceptions. We're on the right trajectory, right? Calvin Ridley, he's been connecting with him. You saw the big long one to NWI the other week for 99 yards. We had the long one last week to Chig for another 70 yards. We are getting sacked a bunch. That's the thing. Will Levis sits in the pocket, and he tries to make these long plays develop, and he's hitting them sometimes, right? We get these long plays that we don't get with Mason Rudolph, but we get crazy amount of sacks. Those weeks Will Levis was gone, we had 6 total sacks. Will Levis comes back, we get 8 to 9 sacks against us per game. It is wild, but we are getting these insane plays, right? We're getting these deep plays happening, but we still have some big injuries, right? Awuzie, he's projected to come back now. He's on his 21-day window. It's saying estimated return date December 8th, but that's still a few weeks away. Tajay Spears may or may not be back for this game. Our offensive tackle, the right tackle, which we rotate through everywhere, right? We got Watson, Duncan, NPF. We got all these boys just rotating through, right? And then we picked up somebody else that I don't even remember his name because we're just trying to stick anyone at offensive tackle. Jack Gibbons, you saw, he's out for the year. This man broke his leg. Snead, another top DB, he's out, right? Our secondary, we're playing with guys who we don't even know, right? I don't even remember who the guy was for safety that came in for Amani Hooker when he was out last week with his illness. So it is tough, right? We got Mike Brown at the other safety. Our cornerbacks, I mean, we're sitting there with a rookie in Jarvis Brownlee Jr. We got Roger McCreary. We ended up getting that Baker Jr. guy. He's only been in the league for like a year, but we got these guys who are like our 4th, 5th string guys, that's out there playing right now. It is wild. He said, give me just a second to close my window. Oh, the wind chill. Oh, yeah, that's freezing, brother. That's freezing. Yeah, if you look at the last 5 games, right, we're diving a little deeper because it is the Tennessee Titans. Let me get out the, oh, man, I don't think you can see it. But the Tennessee Titans, they in their last 5 games, they are 2-3. Meanwhile, the Commanders are 3-2 with their last 3 games being all 3 L's. That is wild. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game real quick since we just, dove a little bit further into those Tennessee Titans. Now we got the Texans and Jag, which is a critical division game. This can be because of 2 different things, right? One, the Texans are the division lead. The Colts are a little behind them. Texans 7-5. The Jags, right? They only have 2 wins on the season. There's only 3 teams with 2 wins on the season. This affects our draft picks because right now we have 3 wins on the season. So let's say we do lose this week to the Commanders and the Jags get the dub. That does help us with our draft picks. But if we know we still have we're not mathematically out of making the playoffs. We can still win the division. It's gonna be crazy. I think the Texans basically have to lose out. We have to win out. It's gonna be insane. But it's still possible if you're thinking that's what you want us to do. Either way, I'm all for us getting a good draft pick, but I will never deny us getting a win. If we get a win, guess what? I am happy, even though I know it makes our draft pick worse, and it might sacrifice us getting, a Shedeur Sanders or a Quinn Ewers or, whichever quarterback you're trying to get out there, or Cam Ward. But right here, the Texans, I still think the Texans are going to get the dub, but you never know with these divisional games. It's always close. No one thought the Titans would beat the Texans last week. CJ Stroud has been struggling the last few weeks, but let's see what ESPN thinks about it. If we go ahead and look at it, they're giving the Texans a 64, almost 65% chance of beating them Jaguars. They got CJ Stroud, 14 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. It's been tough for him, but sunshine over here. 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. We thought he was going to come through and run the league. I mean, we got a lot of good young quarterbacks in the AFC South, minus Richardson, right? Because Richardson is just horrible. But they do have Trevor Lawrence questionable right now, whatever he's injured with. But it's showing he's going to be here for Sunday. His estimated return date is December 1st, which is this Sunday. And if you look at the last 5 games, the Texans, they are 2-3 in the last 5 games. Meanwhile, the Jaguars are 1-4. Not looking good. They haven't won since October 20th. It's been over a month since the Jaguars got a dub, and that was over the New England Patriots, which is another 2-win team. Let me go ahead and get on to the next game now. Next on the list, what we have the Rams and the Saints. Now, if I had to pick one here, I know the Saints, they've been up and down, right? They won their first 2 games where they were blowing teams out. They lost 7 straight games, and then they won 2 more games. He said, holy delay between my laptop and phone. Hey, that's wild. Yeah, sometimes it depends on the device you have, and things like that. I know sometimes when people comment too, they'll comment, and sometimes I get it, and it's like 30 seconds or a minute late. So if I respond to something, I already moved on. I'm a little confused sometimes on what people's talking about because sometimes there's a little delay in it. But we got the Rams and the Saints. But with this one, I would have to pick the Saints. The Saints won their last 2 games. Let's just go ahead and see what ESPN has about it. They give the edge to the Saints as well at 51.9%. They have Matt Stafford, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Meanwhile, Derek Carr, 13 tutties, 4 interceptions. And with their major injuries, they got their tight end, Tyler Higbee. He's injured over there, and the Saints got Chris Olave. He's on IR. That's like their main big injury. Jamal Williams as well is injured for the Saints. But if you look at their last 5 games, the Rams are 3-2 in their last 5, and the Saints are 2-3. But those were back-to-back victories in the last 2 weeks for the Saints. So they do have a lot of momentum coming into the game, even though the Rams, their last loss was to the Eagles, which is probably one of the best teams in the NFL. It's between them and the Lions, really. And I know the Chiefs has a better record, but they haven't been playing nearly as well. They have been able to win those really close games, the Chiefs, which is wild. Like today, it's a miracle they won the game. It was just bad clock management today and bad play by the center and the quarterback with the snap. Now, on to the next game. We got the Bucs and the Panthers. I think the Bucs are going to win this game. Panthers, disastrous organization. I know Bryce Young, he's been playing better the last couple weeks, right? He's come back since his benching, and he's looked better. But I still don't believe in the Panthers at all. They're a terrible organization. Baker Mayfield is having an outstanding season. And look, ESPN agrees, right? They say the Bucs, they put that thing almost to 70%. I believe that's the highest we've seen on all the ones we've looked at so far. The Bucs, almost a 70% chance according to the ESPN analytics. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, while Bryce Young, he's still having his tough season. I know he's a little guy. He can't really see over the line, and his offensive line just collapses when he gets the ball, but he has 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions on the year. Oh yeah, and look at this. If you're familiar with the Tennessee Titans, if you're a Tennessee Titans fan, you will see they have Caleb Farley on the team. And look at this. It's a familiar sight, chat. It's a familiar sight. Caleb Farley is once again on the injury report. He's questionable, estimated to return December 1st. If you're a Tennessee Titans fan here, you know all about Caleb Farley, previous first-round draft pick. Let's see. He said, I have your stream open on my laptop and second screen, and I'm feeling the Bucks, but like the Titans, they are very close to home. The Panthers, I mean. Oh, you meant to say you're feeling the Panthers. Okay, yeah, I'm not feeling the Panthers. I'm not feeling the Panthers at all. The Panthers are not a very good team. And look, chat, if you're here, go ahead and keep leaving those comments. I'm appreciating Shadow Knight in the chat. Anyone else, feel free to leave your comments, your thoughts, and go ahead and hit that like button. It helps the channel out. Look, we only got a few games left. Now, this is going to be a really good game right here. The Eagles and the Ravens. I mean, this is going to be the game of the week. The Eagles 9-2, Ravens 8-4. One of them's going to have to get the L. But if you're a fan of this channel, I say it every single week, right? This channel, we hate the Ravens. We want them to lose every single week, and I don't care who they play. I'm picking against them because I hate the Ravens. Yes, they're 8-4. Lamar Jackson, look at his stats. 27 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And I know they have Derrick Henry. I want Derrick Henry to do well. No bad blood for Derrick Henry, right? I want him to get his 2,000 yards once again. But I want the Ravens to lose every single game. Shadow Knight said why. I can tell you why, brother. Because the Ravens, I mean, it goes far back. You're talking the Eddie George, Ray Lewis rivalry. But if you're talking recently, you're talking with them getting on our logo at the 50-yard line, stomping on it, digging their cleats into it, and just digging up the logo. So disrespectful, these Ravens, right? We don't like them Ravens over here in Tennessee land. But let's go ahead. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. Let's see what ESPN says about it. And ESPN, they got the Ravens with the edge. 57.6%. I didn't see that one coming. The Philadelphia Eagles have a stacked roster, right? I mean, look, they got Jalen Hurts, who has 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I know Lamar has better stats. Look at that. He does. But they still have Devontae Smith, who's injured. He's questionable. He should be back for the game. They have A.J. Brown. They have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Look at him. He's got almost 1,400 yards. He got more rushing yards right now than the Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has a few more touchdowns, right? But hey, look at this. There's only a 2-carry difference. A 2-carry difference, chat, between Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley just made a new Madden move on the game, right? He did the backwards hurdle. They had to put that into the game. It was unseen before this. I'm giving the edge to the Eagles. Oh, Stone's in the chat. He said Commanders by 21. That is a steep prediction, Stone. That is steep right there. You know, I don't believe that for a second, chat. Hey, remember, the Commanders are on a 3-game losing streak. Oh, man, Stone coming here with the heat, chat. Said fair point, but you're a Tennessee man. Yep. Hey, at Tennessee, everything. If you're a fan of the Tennessee Volunteers, we got to root for them this weekend, right? We got to beat Vandy. As long as we don't get an upset, Tennessee Volunteers are making the college football playoffs for the first time. We have a chance, chat. And that's the one sport in Tennessee right now, the one team in Tennessee right now that is actually worth watching. Right, you get to watch the Vols. They get to play good football. Meanwhile, if you're a fan of any other team, if you like the Grizzlies, if you like the Preds, the Titans, they're all not doing very well. Like from Tennessee, yes, Georgia struggling against Georgia Tech. Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah. If Georgia ends up losing to Georgia Tech, that's going to mess everything up. I just hope no scenario takes place where Alabama makes it to the playoffs. That's the last thing I want to happen, chat. The very last thing. There's still a chance for Bama to make it, but I don't want that to happen at all. Let's see. Next, we got the Niners and the Bills. This is going to be the Bills. The Niners have a ton of injuries. We can check their injuries, right? But Josh Allen's playing too well. Brock Purdy was hurt. They have a ton of injuries. We'll check their injuries right now. But yeah, I'm definitely picking the Bills. Yeah, they give the Bills a 60.2% chance of winning that game. Brock Purdy, yeah, he's showing questionable. He has 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Meanwhile, Josh Allen, look at his lights out. He's got 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, over 2,500 yards. That's wild. And if you look at the Niners injury report, I mean, look, their best offensive tackle, Trent Williams, is out. Nick Bosa is out. You got Purdy, who's questionable. Yeah, there's no way you can pick the Niners with that roster, with them being so injured right now. Josh Allen just got engaged. He's not focused on the game. And now he's a professional. I think he's got it. He said got lost in the sauce. But look, if you look at their last 5 games, the Niners, right, they are 2-3 in their last 5 games. Meanwhile, in the last 5 games for the Bills, they won their all 5 games. They won 5 in a row, right? They beat Tennessee, they beat Seattle, Miami, Indy, and Kansas City. They were the only team in the NFL to beat the Chiefs, right? Knocking them from that undefeated streak. Now, if we get into we're finally till Monday Night Football. You got the Browns and the Broncos. If I had to pick an upset of the week, I would go with the Browns on this one to beat the Broncos. Broncos, yeah, they're 7-5, but Jameis Winston is him. That man is here. He's ready to come in and get a dub. He said, what part of Tennessee? I'm from next door neighbor, North Carolina. Oh, yeah, I lived out in Murfreesboro, if you're familiar with that. Went to MTSU, if you're familiar with MTSU. It's a great college, small college, it's those Blue Raiders. But, yeah, we got the Browns. I think they could beat the Broncos. But let's see what ESPN thinks about it. Ooh, yeah, it's a pretty close game. It looks like it's kind of up in the air, right? 51%, slight edge to the Broncos. Meanwhile, Jameis Winston, look, he's over there eating dubs out in Cleveland, right? 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 1,200 yards. He won the Snow Bowl. It looked amazing. Meanwhile, Bo Nix, he's a competitor for Rookie of the Year along with Jaden Daniels. Has picked it up, later on in the season. Top Flight Wager said, good stuff, my man. Hey, I appreciate it, Top Flight. I appreciate it. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, too, and subscribe. It all helps the channel out, helps your boys out. I post videos all throughout the week. You'll see it if you like and subscribe, right? Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns, they got a few injuries over here. You're talking Cedric Tillman, old volunteer right here. He's injured, not supposed to come back to the second. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they got Riley Moss, right? He's one of the white DBs in the NFL. You don't see too many of these boys, but he's questionable right now to December 2nd. And Josh Reynolds, if you're a Tennessee fan, you know who Josh Reynolds is, right? He was our wide receiver for a while. Didn't do much for us. Did pretty well out in Detroit, but he's currently out on IR. He says, I'm halfway across the country, but I'm trying to keep up with things when I have a break. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes, if you're out of the area, it's a little hard to keep up with sports from your area because, unless you got some way of watching sports outside your area, sometimes it's a little tough. But the Browns in their last 5, the Browns, they are 2-3. They did just get the dub over Pittsburgh in the Snow Bowl, right? We got Jameis Winston. He's back. Meanwhile, the Broncos are 3-2 in their last 5 games. But that would be my upset of the week. It's got to be the Cleveland Browns getting that dub. And like I said, the Tennessee Titans game, I'll be here for it probably for the most part. I'll be able to do a pre-game show for it, give some raw thoughts right before the game. I always do a halftime report at halftime to give my thoughts on the game, about how it's going, if we're going to continue on. But we all know halftime, the Tennessee Titans typically don't make adjustments. Last week they did, but most of the time we go into halftime with a lead or a close game, and then all of a sudden we just fall apart in the second half. We don't make any adjustments. Meanwhile, the other team does, and we tend to struggle. We normally do best at the beginning of the game with those first 10 to 15 scripted plays. Then after that, it's like Brian Callahan forgets how to call plays. But I know he's new to it. It's his first season calling plays as a head coach, and his first season on the field. So it is taking a little time for him to get the hang of things. He's used to being up in the booth, watching the game from above. But anyway, that does it for today's episode. Like I said, if you're here, make sure you like, subscribe, all that. It helps the channel out. And don't forget to leave the comments down below. I appreciate all of you, Shadow Knight, Type Flight, and Honorably Stone. Y'all all left comments here, many comments. I appreciate all of it. Oh, he said, that's how my college season goes. Yes, I try to read every single comment. I don't think I ever miss any. The only time I don't read them is if it's something offensive or something like that. But yeah, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tighten up, baby.